Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you, everyone who's joining in live, and thank you to everyone watching this recording. So, for anyone who's new to this channel or this topic, it's really about, in my understanding, three things. That, first of all, there is an energy, a vitality, a life force that we can all easily take in for help and healing, much less to have more aliveness in our day to day life. And second of all, it's about that guy. There we go. In the black picture frame, a man named Bruno Groening who taught this technique and taught some other um, very simple yet um, very potent ideas about how to navigate life, and who said he's available to help people on this journey of life. And then the third thing is it's about these teachings he offered about how to how to have a good life, how to have a life of happiness, health, and harmonious relations with ourselves and everyone and everything. So thank you so much for joining in, and let's get. And if you're new, you're welcome. Please check out my website www.thehealingstream.org for more information. So let's get down to business. Let's start taking in this vital life force, this sacred energy. And it's very simple. Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards, your back in a relaxed upright position, not stiff, but not slouched over either. And then, when you're ready, please close your eyes. And now hand over all worries and burdens, all fears. Hand over the past. It's past. Handing over the future. Doesn't exist. To a higher power, whatever your sense of a higher power is. Or to a spiritual helper you trust. And then think of something that makes you joyful, something that makes your heart smile. And then begin to observe your body, having the will, the intention to take in good energy, to take in healing life energy, and just notice what you feel. Taking in the good, observing your body, really taking in good feelings and letting this energy just cleanse us of everything not good. Once again, a warm welcome to everyone who joined in, and please do continue to observe your body and take in this good energy while I share some ideas. So, while I was just tuning in, some people came to mind who, in the past, I feel that I've harmed, that I didn't treat well. And so I'm in this process of making amends to such people. And so that's it's been a very powerful process to go to people and apologize and ask if there's any way I can make things right. And it's just, it's so amazing that when we tune in and take in this energy, we become clearer. We become, or I'll just speak for myself. I feel clearer. I feel connected to inspiration. I receive guidance and inspiration. The sad thing is that this is surprising because what Bruno Groening taught is to be connected to this energy is actually quite natural. Is literally what we're designed for. So here's a quote from Bruno Groening. I point out to you that you have given me your worries. Please don't burden yourself. Leave me the worries. So for anyone who's new to this, Bruno Groening literally asked people to give him, please, he said, give me your illnesses, give me your worries, give me your negative thoughts. And he was also quite clear that he said, you can't deal with them. What do you mean I can't? It's possible for us to get a little, what do you mean I can't deal with my negative thoughts? What do you mean I can't deal with my illness? What do you mean I can't deal with my worries? And so the thing is that Bruno Groening pointed out that all of these things stem from evil, which in German, um, I'm still learning the pronunciation, but in German, Bosse, um, which also means vicious and nasty. That there's this um, consciousness or force in the universe that is really nasty and vicious and just wants to harm and destroy everyone and everything. Bruno Groening called it Bosse. Again, evil, nastiness, viciousness. Sometimes he called it the devil. That there is this destructive force. And that all of our problems are caused by this destructive force. And that's why he would say that we can't deal with these thoughts, worries, and illnesses on our own. Like, sure, if we have one negative thought, like, sure, maybe I can do some journaling and get over it. But have I gotten over the evil, the cause of that thought? And that's why he made this generous offer that we can literally hand over these burdens to him. And sometimes when that happens, the burden literally is just gone. And he spoke about this. He said that it gets burnt up. And he didn't put himself above other people, but he did say that he had this ability to both take on people's burdens and to radiate this energy. And he cautioned other people to not try and take on other people's burdens, that was a special gift that Bruno Groening had. So let's really practice this for a moment. Let's really hand over. And if, different people some people see Jesus as their helper. Some people see a particular Buddha as their helper. Some people don't really resonate with the idea of a helper. And so they just hand things over to God or life or love. It's not my place to tell you which one, just to point out what Bruno Groening taught. So, to whatever your idea of a higher power that you have confidence and faith in, let's spend some time handing over our worries, which Bruno Groening said is the disease of all people. Let's do so now. Literally, whether it's visualizing them, handing over our worries. Bruno Groening pointed out that worries disconnect us from the divine. It blocks off this energy from coming in. So it's very important that we watch for worry. And as soon as we become aware of it, hand it over to a higher power. And then Bruno Groening said once we become aware of a negative thought, to hand it over to God and then to ask for a good thought. So now we've just handed over some worries and burdens. Now let's ask for some good thoughts, some true thoughts. Taking in the good, which includes good, true thoughts. So I made a video, gave a talk yesterday about, Bruno Groening said, trust, faith in the good is the foundation, the fundamental idea of divine order. My understanding meaning that if we want divine order in our lives, which I do, I don't know anyone who doesn't, but they may not consciously say that, but we all want to be happy and healthy and contributing and in harmony. Bruno Groening said that absolute foundation is trust in what he calls the good, which is another way of him referring to ultimate reality or God. So that's the absolute foundation. And we looked at the idea that many of us struggle and many people struggle with faith in the good because of bad things that happen. And yet Bruno Groening clearly addresses that. That first of all, in Eastern terms, we can say it's karma. Bruno would say things like you reap what you sow, or I think he once called it the law of cause and effect. I'll have to look that up. But in essence, this idea that if something negative happens to us, it's a result of something negative we've done, generally in the past, sometimes in a past life. So that's one answer to why do bad things happen to good people? And the other is that everything bad that happens to us, it's not a punishment, but it's actually a learning opportunity. Now, this can be very hard to believe and swallow. And Bruno Groening gave the very drastic example of Freddie Hosp, who, as a newborn child, was severely injured by a midwife. Um, to the point where he had multiple disabilities that almost took his, he almost died. If he hadn't met Bruno Groening, he would have not made it. I think he met Bruno Groening when he was about 25, and the doctors were only giving him a couple more years yet left to live. And so it seems horrible. A newborn baby injured? Like, what could be worse than that? And yet Bruno Groening said it was ordained by God for Freddie's spiritual development. That without this, Freddie would have done everything other than spiritually develop himself. And not only that, that it was part of God's plan for Freddie to really develop himself in this lifetime so that in his next lifetime, he would remember everything he had learned in this lifetime and be able to help so many people. So the very short, that's the example Bruno Groening said that of why, of how even bad things end up serving the good, and that they're always a lesson, always a growth opportunity. Another simple way to say it is that all things serve the good, no exceptions, because God is in charge. So said another way, I'm going to do something I normally don't do, which is I'm going to read from this is a book on Hindu philosophy, and it just so sums up this just essential teaching of Bruno Groening. And so this is from the book, The Essence of Enlightenment by James Schwartz. And James is such a generous teacher that he provides this book for free on his website. His website is called The Shining World. And I believe in sort of Hindu language that James is just expressing the exact same thing that Bruno Groening taught. Mm-hmm. So this is page 130. So he says the Dharma Field, which means everything, all of creation, including God. The Dharma Field is a university meant to teach us who we are. We do not matriculate, meaning graduate. We do not matriculate until we have learned our lessons. God, life, instructs us by delivering the fruits of our actions. As my wife Sundari says, a karma yogi, which is someone who takes on the practice of really surrendering to God. So a karma yogi knows that experience is a decaying time capsule meant to deliver knowledge. Meaning, results never last, but the knowledge hidden in experience leads us to the self, which is the Hindu expression of enlightenment or God realization. So when something happens, irrespectful, and let me back up a minute, a karma yogi is also someone who's learning to let go of their likes and dislikes, more accurately, their attachments, and just accepting that everything is God's will, and that we're just here to serve. So when something happens, irrespective of whether it is what we want or not, we are meant to welcome it and learn from it. In this way, the likes and dislikes are neutralized, and dispassion, necessary for inquiry, develops. And inquiry in this case means self-inquiry, coming to know who and what we are, which Bruno Groening spoke of. He said, self-recognition or self-knowledge is the only thing that's necessary. So I just felt that was such a poetic way of, in Hindu terms, expressing exactly what Bruno Groening taught, who said life is a school. And he said only things that serve as a lesson are allowed to happen. So what if we decide to look at life as a university, as a school, where everything is guided by God and everything happens for our growth? And we learn to let go of our attachments, which Bruno Groening spoke of. In fact, Bruno Groening said it was only when we're able to stay in the divine peace, when we've let go of all attachments, that we will be what he called being fully redeemed. So, what if this, um, everything that's happening is a spiritual university directed by God, and everything, even the things we don't like, are guided by God for our best good? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's always fun. I'm not going to sit here and say that some of the lessons aren't painful. And if, as Bruno Groening said, and I believe it to be true, God is good and only good, then what if even the painful, challenging lessons are actually for our highest spiritual good? So don't take my word for it. Don't take Bruno Groening's word. Don't take James Schwartz's word. Really reflect deeply on this. Ask God what's true. And we have this beautiful practice of observing our body, which Bruno Groening said, if we do it, the truth will reveal itself inside of us. So let's spend a little time doing that now. Observing the body, noticing what we feel, really reflecting. Is it possible? Is it possible that all of life is a school guided by God? I've come to the conclusion that yes, all of this is true, and that it's one of the most important things for us to keep in mind as we navigate life, because it helps us to maintain our faith and even strengthen our faith when bad things happen to us, more accurately, when painful things happen to us. So, thank you so much for joining in, everyone. And I'm so grateful to be able to share these things with you. It deepens my own faith and trust. And we'll be doing this again real soon. And a warm hello to everyone who you guys send the greatest emojis. Thank you. And I wish you a wonderful day in the school of life, enjoying the blessings and learning how to enjoy, or at least welcome, the things that don't feel like blessings, to realize that they are. You're so welcome. Thank you all. Take care. Much love.